So here's a story that I'd bet you are intimately familiar with. I wake up in the morning, I go through my morning routine, and then I eventually sit down to work. And right when I sit down, I know what I need to do. I have a video script I need to finish, and I need to send some feedback to a partner on a project we're working on. But then I remember that I also need to send in the rent check for my apartment, and I also have 32 unanswered emails in my inbox, and some of those people are probably getting annoyed with me at this point. And oh, the lawn is getting long as well and needs to be mowed. All of a sudden, I have 18 different things I need to do, and I really don't know which one I should be working on first. Now, if this story does resonate with you, and I'd bet that it does, fortunately there is a tool that you can use to fix this problem, and it's called the Eisenhower Decision Matrix. It's a tool that you can use to more intelligently prioritize everything you need to do within a day or within a longer period of time, and that will help you to get started more quickly on the most important tasks you have to deal with. Now, as you might have guessed, this tool is named after Dwight D. Eisenhower, who, in addition to being the 34th President of the United States, was also an extremely productive person. He served 2 terms as president, and during that time, he introduced both DARPA, which was the agency that helped to create the modern internet, and NASA, which obviously got us to the moon. In addition, he was the supreme commander of the Allied forces during World War II, played a huge part in the development of the interstate highway system, and was at one point the president of Columbia University. And the secret behind Eisenhower's incredible ability to get things done, in addition to just a massive work ethic, was his ability to prioritize tasks effectively. He once said that what is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important. And this piece of philosophy, this belief that he carried throughout his life, is the foundation of the Eisenhower Matrix. So let's briefly talk about how this matrix is set up. Essentially, it is a box with 4 different quadrants, and we have some labels at the top and on the sides. On the top, we have 2 labels, urgent and not urgent. And then on the side, we've got important and not important. And each of the boxes corresponds to a combination of those 2 labels. So things that are urgent and important are things that you should do right now. Again, going back to that quote, things are seldom both important and urgent, and in the case that they are, you should just do them right now. Things that are not urgent, but that are important, you should decide what to do with them later, or schedule them essentially. You still need to do them, but they don't need to be done right now. On the flip side, we've got things that are urgent, but not important. So they do need to be done fairly soon, but they're not really important for you. And in the case of these things, you should either delegate them, give them to someone else, like your little brother, or automate them, give them to the machines. Finally, we've got things that are not important and not urgent. And as you might expect, these are things that should just be simply deleted from your life altogether. Now, the great thing about the Eisenhower Matrix is that you can use it for both macro level planning and micro level planning, which means that you could use it for planning out something like your entire month, but also for planning out a single day. So what I want to do now is go through a couple of different examples for both macro and micro level planning. And let's start with macro. Let's start with planning out your entire month. So if you have your box drawn out and you've got your list of tasks, maybe in Todoist or whatever task management system you're using, you can start to fill in each quadrant based on your prioritization, based on what's urgent, based on what's important. So in the do box, we might have tasks like saving your grandma from a burning building. Probably a big priority for you. But more realistically, maybe it's something like finishing a video script in my case. I need to get this done before I go off to VidCon so I can give the footage to my editor. That's both urgent and important. Now, moving over to the decide box, we've got things like planning out your semester if you're a student, maybe studying for a math test, or buying groceries. These things are all important, or at least I think they're important, and you might think they're important, but they don't need to be done right now. So you should put them in the decide column, so that way you're prioritizing the things in the do column first. That brings us down to the delegate box, which is a bit of a tricky box for a lot of people because they often feel like they can't actually delegate things to other people, or they can't really think of things in their lives that they would give to someone else. So what I'm gonna do is split this box into 2 pieces. Both delegate and automate should go here, because a lot of people have opportunities to automate the things that they are doing manually. Great example here. If you go into your credit card's website every single month and you pay your bill, you can actually automate that. You can set up automatic payments. Same thing for maybe investing in your 401k or investing in a mutual fund if you do that. And for a much more mundane example, if you are currently washing your dishes by hand and you happen to have a dishwasher sitting next to you, well, then let the robot take care of that as well. Let it wash your dishes. But all those automations aside, there may actually be be things that you could delegate to someone else as well. Now, as somebody who runs their own business, I delegate things like checking my email or editing this video, for example, but there are other things that you might be able to delegate. Maybe you have a lawn that you don't want to mow. Well, if you do something where you maybe take the hour that you were using to mow the lawn to make some extra money, then it would make perfect financial sense for someone to mow your lawn for you. And the exact same logic applies to something like changing the oil in your car. If it's worth it financially for you to just go and pay for someone to change your oil, that saves you a lot of time. Finally, we have the delete box. These are the things that are both not important and not urgent and should therefore just be ruthlessly cut out of your life. Now, there are some obvious examples here, maybe checking social media, playing video games, generally wasting time, but I do want to give you a couple examples of things that I recently cut out of my life that I had previously justified as important. One of them is posting on Instagram for business. I had listened to lots of, internet marketing gurus, all kinds of people who said this was super important, and I was spending a lot of my time doing it. But I eventually realized that the payoff I got for it really wasn't worth my time. I was much better focusing my efforts and attention on more important tasks, like making more videos or working on secret, bigger projects. So I've cut that out of my life. Similarly, on our podcast, the College Info Geek podcast, we used to have a 3-camera setup and we would constantly switch between camera angles during the entire course of an episode. But I realized my editor would have to sit there for at least the runtime of the podcast episode, often 60 to 90 minutes, or sometimes even more, switching these camera angles. So what I asked her to do was just post a podcast episode using only the center angle, which basically meant that she only had to spend 15 minutes kind of just dropping the footage into Premiere, exporting it, and then she was done, rather than watching through the entire thing. And interestingly, someone actually commented saying they liked the center angle more because they could see the entire view and see the reactions of the person who wasn't talking. So we both cut something out that took a lot of time in our business, but also ended up with an improved product as a result. So this brings me to a really important point. When you're prioritizing the things that you have to do in your life, you want to ask yourself, why am I doing each of these things? Does my justification actually hold up to scrutiny? In the case of switching the podcast camera angles, we often use the justification that it was really effortful. We were putting lots of effort into that production, and that must make it great, right? But when we actually put that assumption to the test, we found out that we were wrong, and the simpler approach was actually better. So with that being said, let's move on to a micro example. Let's talk about how you can use the Eisenhower matrix on a daily basis to prioritize all the things on your daily task list. And I'm just gonna run you through mine real quick. So in the do column, I have finishing my video script because again, I'm leaving in a couple of days. I wanna get the footage done as soon as possible and I wanna get it to my editor. So that's the thing that I need to be doing first. Secondly, in my decide area, I've got things like cleaning up the house, I've got mailing in the rent check, and I've got things like guitar practice as well. These are all things that I need to get done today, but they aren't as important as the first thing that's over in the do box. Okay, so moving on to that delegate box. Honestly, today I didn't have anything that I needed to personally delegate, but something that does happen on a micro basis, on a daily basis, is that you get requests from family members. Maybe your girlfriend or your brother asks you to do the dishes or clean up a certain room. And if you've already prioritized all the other tasks on your list and you realize you don't have time for that, then a great way to delegate without actually having to pay anyone money is to push back on those requests. Maybe ask them if they can take care of it this time and you'll get it at a later date. And finally, we have the delete box. And on a daily basis, I think that you're gonna wanna list time wasters here because a lot of us are prone to, say, checking social media or researching things that we really don't need to be researching, like what's the best gaming laptop right now. We do these things because we don't actually want to do our work. And by actually writing them down in that delete box and maybe keeping your Eisenhower matrix on your desk or within quick view, you can look at them anytime you get the temptation to check Twitter or Instagram and realize that you have decided in advance to cut that out of your life, and that'll help you get to the things that you need to be doing more easily. Now, if you want to get even better at structuring your time and prioritizing your tasks, then I'm going to recommend you go and take my friend Mike Vardy's class called Productivity Habits That Stick Using Time Theming, which you'll find on Skillshare. This class teaches you how to effectively split up your work and theme your days, which will both improve your focus and increase your output as well. And because it's on Skillshare, once you have your subscription, you've gone through that course, you're also gonna have unlimited access to more than 28,000 other courses across a ton of different topic areas that can both improve your creativity and your skills and your career prospects, including classes on web development, graphic design, digital animation, marketing, productivity, and lots lots more. Plus, within their course library, you're also gonna find a course from me, which is all about building a productivity system. So if you wanna improve the way you use your to-do list, your calendar, and your note-taking system, and all kinds of other bits of technology to help you be more productive, you might wanna take that course too. Now, Skillshare is already an incredibly affordable learning platform, with their monthly subscriptions being less than a Netflix subscription and a heck of a lot more useful to your future. But if you do want to try it for free first, all you have to do is go to the link in the description down below and sign up to get a 2-month free trial with unlimited learning. Big thanks, as always, goes out to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and being a big supporter of my content, and thank you for watching as well. Hopefully you found this useful, hopefully it helps you to prioritize your tasks and get more organized, and if you found it useful, then definitely hit that like button and maybe get subscribed right there if you haven't done so already. You can also click right there to get a free copy of my book on how to earn better grades, which might help you since back to school is right around the corner. Otherwise, click right over here or right over here to find a couple of more episodes on my channel if you haven't seen them already. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you in the next video.